Martha Stewart getting into cannabis. Are we at peak pot here?
We're not even close. This is all part of the normalization of the industry. You're trying to see these multi-billion-dollar companies develop brands. It's very hard to build an authentic brand. One of the shortcuts is finding celebrities. Martha Stewart definitely has a brand. She's good at selling consumer goods. This is a natural fit, but it's still going to be very hard to execute.
So, Sean, even if there's still outright growth in the industry to come, what about in the stock prices? There's some extraordinary multiples out there at the moment.
Yeah, we think Canadian stocks are pretty rich. The U.S. assets that are listed in Canada are not as rich, and we find them to be pretty attractive here. We think that the U.S. is going to continue to ramp, and you're going to see a great deal of news flow on the macro and political front.
Kevin, what do you think of the cannabis stocks right now, especially when you have some of these big names like Martha Stewart coming in as spokespeople or advisors?
Well, it's very intriguing. I mean, it's obviously going to be a phenomenal industry, but I want to make everybody remember that in the majority of the U.S. states, THC, marijuana, is a Schedule I narcotic subject to RICO statute rules. I'm an institution in terms of building products, index products for institutional buyers like ETFs. So if we were going to use, and we looked at this, we went to several of our largest clients and said, look, we're building a new index, OUSM, which was a mid-cap, small-cap index, built out of primarily small-cap companies. We wanted to include a few of the cannabis companies in it. The majority, and I would say 99% of the institutional buyers that use our products as investment tools said no. They have their compliance department saying they cannot hold these assets because they work in states or invest in institutions in states where it is a Schedule I narcotic. This is a big problem, and I urge the industry, if it's listening, to bifurcate the recreational use of this product from the medicinal and go get the regulators to give them release out of the Schedule I listing of the medicinal version of this so that I can invest in it. And I speak on behalf of billions of dollars of institutional investors who are not going to touch this space until this RICO statute Schedule I narcotic issue is resolved.
Okay, so some of those institutional investors are not going to touch it. How about you personally, Kevin O'Leary?
I would never touch this. You know, I'm subject to, as an issuer, the scrutiny of the regulators. The drug I love is my Cabernet Sauvignon 2013. I try it every night. It's excellent.
Sean, what's your pushback to what Kevin was saying out there? Have people done enough due diligence yet, or with the regulations the way they are? Or
a lot of the opportunity right now are people like Kevin who won't touch this, which creates a lot of inefficiencies and a big arbitrage. We're excited about that. We hope it stays like that a little bit longer. We do think you're going to see some real developments in Washington this year, and we do think that, as you see already here on the New York Stock Exchange, companies will list on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, and institutions and the biggest banks out there are already opening up.
Kevin, just quickly, do you think the celebrities have done their own due diligence or not? Could this come back to hurt some of their personal images and brands?
I actually spoke to one of our compliance officers and then the legal team that backs them in Washington. And I asked him about this because I was offered personally a convertible debenture, a very exciting product, and I was willing to take some down early on in this. And he said to me, quote unquote, "Are you out of your beep mind?" And I said, why? What's the problem with me personally investing in this? He said, RICO statute, Schedule I narcotic. They would love to find you go over a state line somewhere in an airplane and land in somewhere where this is not legal and test a case on a guy like you. So I get the joke. If I were a celebrity, if I were Martha, I'd talk to a lawyer first. This is a Schedule I narcotic. It doesn't get any tougher than that. And you don't look so good when you come out of prison after 26 years. That's the penalty.
Well, Kevin, you are a celebrity, but it sounds like you did talk to a lawyer. I hope everybody else has done too.